I don't think people understand just how good this team are and why we should all be keeping a close eye on them throughout the Euros and maybe even past that. Because Ukraine have assembled an insane squad right under everybody's noses and people only just realising now how good they are and why they started to utilise their team so well. So I'm recording this after the friendlies which took place against Germany and against Poland. The Germany game 0-0, Ukraine held their own and did really well, and Germany didn't really look that dangerous despite having most of the ball. But Ukraine, they don't work like that, and we'll discuss why that's not an issue later on. The Poland game, however, Ukraine, yeah, they were on the end of a battering, but it's a friendly at the end of the day, and the Germany result is way more positive than the Poland result is negative. Ukraine didn't actually qualify for this tournament out of their qualification group. They were in a group with England and Italy, and interestingly finished on 14 points, the same as Italy. But because of a head-to-head record, it meant Ukraine finished third. But it doesn't stop there, because they managed to secure entry into this tournament through the playoffs due to their Nations League performance. And to be fair to them, when it mattered most, they came away with a 2-1 victory against Bosnia, where they were 1-0 down until the very last moment. And then they faced Iceland, a team that's just beaten England, so they're no mugs. And when it matters most for Ukraine, they tend to do really well. The friendly defeat to Poland, okay, you don't want a defeat heading into the tournament, but let me remind you, Ukraine beat Wales when Wales were just about to head into 2016, and it didn't look good. Wales got to the semi-final. Just take Croatia as an example. They tend to stumble their way through qualification, but when it comes to the actual tournament and when it matters more than anything, they get the job done, almost anyway. So the squad of Ukraine is one of the parts where they've been overlooked the most, in my opinion. Often we think of Ukraine as a team that produces a few stars here and there, but no, it's different this time, and let me show you what I mean. Artem Dovbyk, Girona's number 9, and importantly, La Liga's top goal scorer with 24 goals. Mikhailo Mudryk, say what you want about his time at Chelsea, he's always excellent for his country. There's a sense of belonging there when he plays for Ukraine, where you feel at Chelsea he's almost an outsider. Well, that doesn't happen for Ukraine. It didn't happen at Shakhtar either, and that's why you get the best out of him. Now this one, I'm really excited for. Viktor Tsygankov, 15 goal involvements for Girona last season, playing excellently on the right wing, and obviously in the Champions League next season. And here's one everybody's sleeping on. This guy, mark my words, will be sold for £50 million or maybe even more in a few summers, maybe even this summer, depending on how well Ukraine do. Georgy Sudakov, currently at Shakhtar Donetsk. He's 21, he's an attacking midfielder, he plays as an 8, he fits that Ukraine midfield, which we'll talk about in a minute, perfectly. He has got a brilliant right foot, but also, importantly, he's got an equally good left foot. Watch him in the tournament. He's going to create chances. He might even score a few bangers from outside the box. Ilya Zabani. Most of the Premier League fans will know him, but for those who don't, he plays for Bournemouth and he has been fantastic since joining them last January. Next, we've got Vitaly Mykolenko, a player who went off injured in the game versus Poland, but it doesn't look that bad, so hopefully we see him slot in at left back, because his role as left back is crucial for Zinchenko. Zinchenko playing in the midfield gives him that duality of being able to defend the midfield but also create chances. And in front of likely Stepanenko as a 6, Zinchenko complements him really well and allows the ball to transition from the defensive to the midfield to the attacking third. Definitely something to watch out for. But let's not forget one of the most important players, and also one of Real Madrid's most important players, Andriy Lunin, the man that displaced Kepa at Real Madrid last season and was top class all year, and in my opinion should have been allowed to play the Champions League final because he's not done anything wrong to lose that spot to Courtois. But this is where it gets interesting. Time to look at how this Ukraine side line up on the pitch and why their tactics are built perfectly for the Euros. In March 2023, this is how they lined up in the qualifier versus England, a match that actually ended 1-1, and that's where we started to see the glimpses of this Ukrainian team being something special. However, they only created one big chance and 2 shots throughout the 90 minutes, so I bet you're asking, why do I keep banging on about these lot? Well, that was in 2023. The team is a year older now, which is so important for a young squad like this. Some of the breakthrough players have really benefited from extra minutes. Dovbyk at Girona, Lunin at Real Madrid, Tsygankov again at Girona, and so many other players, Sudakov at Shakhtar Donetsk, have all benefited from the increased minutes and increased experience on the pitch. What makes their tactics so exciting? Well, for a team that is always considered a lesser nation in terms of football, They actually play like one of the big boys. Let me show you what I mean. For starters, their back line, it stays pretty flat, but the two fullbacks do have license to get forward, and what happens in the middle of the pitch is what really excites me. Zinchenko and Sudakov have got really exciting roles. Take a look at these heat maps, because they get on the ball absolutely everywhere, and that's a sign of players who are confident in possession. But more importantly, it's harder for opposition teams to track and man-mark them. With both of these players being creative types, them dragging the opponents around the pitch is not what teams want when they're trying to sustain possession and try to control the game. One player in particular that not many people will know about heading into this tournament is the right back, Konoplia. And his role in itself is so fascinating, and it will catch eyes throughout the month. Here's an example of what I mean, versus Italy no less. Konoplia has stepped into a central role from right back. Sudakov is just in front of him. Meanwhile, Zinchenko, the left side centre mid, has started going down the right wing. It shows a sign of flexibility and fluidity within the team that makes them so difficult to play against. You can tell these players have played with each other for a long time now, because what we're going to talk about now shows that they understand each other's games more than most international teams. But the beauty of their attack is that they have Dovbyk up top, who can spin in behind or act as a target man, and this example is what I'm talking about, because Dovbyk drops deep, and look how close Sudakov is to him. He understands that if Dovbyk wins that ball, he gets the second ball, and that's crucial in transition. But there's also other things going on in a different part of the pitch that also highlight how well these players know each other and why they understand the tactics so well. So Dovbyk lays it off to Sudakov, and what Tsygankov does here is brilliant. He understands that the space is where Dovbyk has just vacated. With Dovbyk moving up, he's already dragged out an Italian centre-back, meaning it's only 3 defenders now to focus about. And importantly, another Italian centre-back does not want to step up into that space and leave 2 defenders left. And Sudakov, he understands this. This guy's potential is bigger than the spot on my face. So please don't sleep on him. Sudakov plays it to Tsygankov, and then Tsygankov has loads of space. But importantly, look where Mudryk is. He is vacant from the play, but that's designed because if he gets the ball, he's got a one-on-one against the Italian right-back, Di Lorenzo. And that's exactly what he wants. This is exactly what Chelsea haven't been doing. But now let's look at the group and why this group is possibly winnable for Ukraine. The group consists of Belgium, Slovakia and Romania. I think they could get 6 points. With how awkward they are to play against and the teams in their group, I don't think many people will have answers for this Ukraine side. Okay, maybe beating Belgium is a bit of a stretch. However, this isn't a team like the Belgium of the past. We've got Doku, Bakayoko, Trossard all involved in the attacking areas. Some of them have been to tournaments before, but none of them have had an important role in a tournament. This is the only tournament that Doku has been guaranteed to start. Bakayoko is another one. He's never played in a tournament for Belgium. It's a side in transition. It's a side without a lot of pace at the back, especially if they play Axel Witsel at the back. So there may be areas to exploit. Let's say they get a draw. Maybe they could get 7 points. If they do get 7 points, then we start to talk about them. And then we're going to start coming back to this video and say, oh, Kai was right. Yeah, I was. Say this tournament's going to go the way I expect it to go, and they finish second in the group. They'll likely face Austria. Austria are also another difficult side to play against, and I almost did a video about them and their tactics. Let me know if you want to see that. But let's say they get past Austria. Who do they face next? Portugal. That could be a bit of a stumbling block. They could crash out of the tournament there, but crashing out the quarterfinals, that's nothing to be ashamed of for the Ukraine side that nobody expected anything from anyway. Trust me, this is a better side than you think. And if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, because we can go all day on the niche football takes.